Don't let comfort and complacency rob you of a fulfilling life. Plus, a Philadelphia attraction is closing for good.
Welcome to the Hopefulist, a daily talk show hosted by veteran broadcaster Wendy McClure. Join Wendy each day as she shares her life lessons that transformed her from perpetual pessimist to the ultimate hopefulist. The perfect morning show to get you caught up on the day's top stories while sharing insights that will lead to positive transformation and bring out the hopefulist in you. For more inspiration, visit Hopefulist.com. And now, here's your host and hopefulist, Wendy McClure.
Well, hello there and welcome to a Wednesday. It is September 16th, 2020. Thank you so much for tuning into the Hopefulist today for your daily dose of inspiration and positivity. The quote for today comes from Zig Ziglar's page, and it says, "It's not what you do every once in a while, it's what you do on a daily basis that makes a difference," which fits in perfectly with our topic today about comfort zones and complacency. We're going to get into that in just a little bit. Cool weather continues here at the Jersey Shore. Waking up to a little bit of cool conditions. We actually slept, and it was actually kind of accidental. We slept with the windows closed and the air off last night. And I say it was accidental because, you know, I love my naps. So I can't sleep with the window open during the day when I'm trying to take a nap. And it was still pretty chilly yesterday when I was doing that. So I closed, locked the window, put the blinds down, and then I forgot to reopen the window after I had gotten up. So my husband typically goes to bed before I do, and I probably would have opened the window, but I was worried I was going to disturb him. So I thought, okay, well, the fan's on. It's pretty cool out. We'll see how it goes. That's right. Worked out well. Didn't wake up hot at all. Not at all. In fact, I woke up pretty cold. There's a little bit of a chiller out there. It's going to get warmer later this afternoon. We're talking in the mid to higher 70s. So the warmth is coming back for a day or two, and then we're going to plummet over the weekend. Highs in only the mid 60s. Ironically, I have a pool party to go to on Saturday. It's more about the company, right? We can sit by the pool in our cardigans and our sweaters. So, like I said, it's kind of nice to cozy on into some long-sleeved sweaters and sweatshirts and stuff like that. It's a nice little change. I will be crying about it in a matter of a week, though, just so you know. Some sad news. Liberty One, the observation deck in Center City, Philadelphia, it is closing, they say, indefinitely. They say since the shutdown with COVID, they've had few to no visitors. They are not able to sustain the costs at this point. If you've never been to the observation deck, it is something that is really, really awesome. And I'm sorry, but you're too late now. You can't go. But Joe and I went, I think like 2 years ago, and I have some really cool pictures, just panoramic views of the entire city. You can see the Ben Franklin Bridge going into Camden. It's really just an amazing view, and I hope that you had gotten a chance to check that out at some point. I have a feeling maybe at some point they'll reopen it. Fingers crossed. Some more bad news. Hershey will not be able to put out their holiday collection this year. Now, I'm sure you're still going to be able to get the candy, probably just not in the tin or the wrappers with the holiday theme to it. Like, I'm pretty sure you'll still be able to get Hershey Kisses. You just might not be able to get the green and red wrappers. Yeah, I do really enjoy the holiday themes. Now, when it comes to M&Ms, which I believe is a Hershey product, for some reason, I absolutely cannot resist red and green peanut M&Ms. Can't resist them. Love them. Regular ones, Yeah, I can resist those. I don't know why. But every year at Christmas, I always get a bag of peanut M&Ms in the red and green, and I keep them out for at least a week or so leading up to Christmas or after Christmas or what have you until they are all gone. I love them. So if they're not going to be available this year, it will make me sad. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to find something else to put out for that week in between Christmas and New Year's this year. Or maybe I'll just get the regular multicolored peanut M&M. I know they taste the same. I know. They don't look the same, though. Caught a little bit of the Drew Barrymore show that is, yesterday. And this was completely by accident. Like I said, I don't think the time slot is that great. It's going up against Live with Kelly and Ryan. It's 9 o'clock on CBS. But my husband found it at 8 o'clock last night when there was absolutely nothing on. And so I checked it out. I'm not sure about this. I don't think it's going to catch on. I believe that she's trying to be very casual and down to earth in her show. And maybe just a little too much. She talks with her hands resting over her, resting on her face a lot, which kind of drowns out the microphone a little bit. So this was the second episode. I did not see the first. She had Reese Witherspoon as a guest, virtually, of course. And really all they did was kind of just woo-hoo each other. They were just enamored with each other. They talked about when they first met and how they're great friends. And, she just praised Reese, and Reese just in return praised Drew. And I didn't watch the whole thing because I kind of got bored with it. Because typically when a celebrity is on a talk show, they are pushing some sort of agenda, whether it be a movie that they're in or a show that they are producing or what have you. If they did ever get to that, I didn't see it because I had tuned out before then. I like Drew Barrymore, and I like the fact that she's trying to bring a little realism to her talk show, but I think it's a little too real. I think that if we show all of the mistakes, which she is doing, then we're just going to be like, well, I can do that. Which, we all probably, well, not all of us can, but I don't know. I think it kind of takes away from the glamour of it a little bit. And that's, that's kind of the cool part about watching a TV show is it's glamorous. It's something to help you escape. It's something that you enjoy. If you're just sitting around chatting like you are with your girlfriends, you don't need to watch a TV show for that, although there are a lot of TV shows based on that premise. But we'll see how Drew does. I wish her a lot of luck. I don't have a lot of hope, but I have been known to be wrong in the past. I didn't think Ellen was going to make it either, and she's on, year 20 or something? Yeah. Of course, she had a lot of controversy in her off season as well. I'm not sure if she started back up again. So is that all the news? I had some not so great news for you today, and I'm sorry about that. I try to tell you the good with the bad, but prepare yourself for the Hershey horror. That would be terrible if we could not have our holiday themes this year. But we shall see. The topic of the day is, what is the first meal you ever cooked? I can't really even remember, which is odd that I, came up with this topic. I know that I heated a lot of things. For years, my go-to was, I can cook anything as long as there's directions on the back of the box. When I first moved out on my own, I made a lot of frozen chicken sandwiches. I would eat a lot of Hot Pockets or Lean Pockets. Meatloaf was my go-to for a very long time. Yes, I made a lot of meatloaf. And I ate a lot of canned beef stew. One of my first fancy dishes, and, some people will debate the fact that it's fancy because it was made with cream of mushroom soup. And some people count that out right away. But it started out as a chicken dish with linguine, and I evolved it over the years. And finally, what I make now is shrimp with penne pasta, the can of cream of mushroom soup, lots of Parmesan cheese, some broccoli, and I mix that all together. So it's kind of like a pasta dish with a white sauce. Yeah, delicious. I love it. I haven't made it in a long time because I married a cook, and he does most of the cooking. But yeah, that is one of my specialties. Jim says hot dogs and baked beans was my specialty when I was a kid and had to take my turn for the family. Once I became an adult, the first one I made was chicken broccoli Alfredo. That sounds good. I love Alfredo. Marcy says, oh my gosh, I can't remember. Probably something like pancakes. Sandra says pizza. John says being a chef, I made so many I can't remember. But he did put a little gif of Snoopy sharpening his knives, about to dive into the turkey dinner with Woodstock, lovingly and admiring his skills. And Kathy says hamburgers. Oh, I love me a good hamburger. It's got to have cheese, though. It's got to have cheese. I went to Colorado last week. I talked about this a little bit. And we were spending time with family. And the one night we were invited over to my aunt's house for hot dogs and hamburgers. And my group, consisting of my husband and my brother, showed up a little bit late. And when I got there, the hot dogs and the hamburgers were just sitting out on the counter, already grilled up. And I was amazed to see there was no cheese on the burgers. Now, is it even worth it to eat a burger without cheese? Because I'll pass. I honestly will pass on a burger without cheese. So, if you know me, I spoke up. Is there any cheese? Does anybody have any cheese? So my cousin got out some of his very fancy smoked cheese and gave me a piece. He goes, well, you're the only one that asked for it. I said, no, I'm probably the only one that complained that the food wasn't good enough and I needed some cheese. But he happily complied, and I got to put some cheese on my burger, and, it all worked out well. But it took me a long time to get burgers done right. And again, now I married a cook, so he does them. For the longest time, I made Bubba burgers. Do you guys remember Bubba burgers? I mean, they still make them. They are ridiculously expensive. They are full of fat and grease, which is why it's hard to mess them up. If you do overcook them, they won't taste good. But if you any way you cook them, except for overcooking, they turn out really, really well. So I had eaten those for a long, long time. And now we found a brand at BJ's. Their brand, I forget the name of it now. It's not Berkeley Jensen. They have a different name for their food line. And I can't remember what the name of it is now. Something Signature, or I'm not sure. But they have a box of frozen burgers. I think it's about a third of a pound. So it's a decent size. And they really just turn out yummy. We love them. Well, I think my husband loves them. I love them. And we have a lot of burgers and dogs throughout the summer. Because, it's a summer staple. Lots of burgers, lots of dogs, lots of corn on the cob, lots of tomatoes. Speaking of corn on the cob, have I ranted and raved to you about my kernel cutter? I believe I have. I love it. I've used it every day now. Still trying to get the hang of it so I get the most out of my kernels of corn. Kind of veering off a little bit towards the end. So much easier, so much cleaner. Probably the best $12 I ever spent. And I didn't even spend $12 on it. On to the blog post for today. We're talking about settling and how you shouldn't. Don't settle for a mediocre life because it's easier. Dolly Parton says, if you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one. I love it. Comfort and complacency is the enemy of a satisfying life. We tend to get into regular routines, and it takes some work to break out of them long after they stop serving us. That's what we're going to be talking about. The reason why it is so hard and what we need to do in order to pump ourselves back up. We don't want to keep living a humdrum life, so we must break out of the old and start charting a new path. It's a shame that we have to get out of our comfort zone to truly live a life with purpose and meaning, but it's true. Nothing ever comes from a comfort zone unless you already feel fulfilled and happy. In that case, you are excused for the day and carry on. But for most of us, we get to a point where our routine is so routine, our lives start to feel automatic and robotic. We don't have much excitement, but there's a certain calm in knowing what is going to happen next, right? I know. I've been there. Wake up, go to work, come home, have dinner, watch TV, go to bed, start over again the next day. Doesn't that sound exciting? No, of course not. We are all made for so much more than that. If only we can get out of our old routines and shake things up a bit. Are you in a slump? Do you feel like you should be doing more with this one life? Then start with one thing. Just one thing. What is something that has always interested you? Is it a hobby, an activity, a sport? Whatever it is, jump into it. Do you like to write? Start a blog. It's super easy. Trust me. Do you want to learn to play an instrument? Go get it. Try it out. Hire someone to give you lessons or jump on YouTube for a tutorial. Do you want to learn how to swing dance? Oh my gosh, do it. I am dying to take swing dancing lessons. Again, I'm sure there are demonstrations on YouTube. There are dance halls that you can go to. Because here's the thing. Once you try just one thing, it will inspire you to keep at it or try even more things. Once you get that tiny bit of excitement, you will crave more. New things are always a little bit scary, but that's okay. We can all learn as we go. No one starts out being perfect at anything. I started playing pickleball earlier this summer, and I really enjoy it. I definitely need a lot of work on my game, but luckily I play with some friends who are in it for just the fun. Sometimes this is all it takes to shake your life up a little bit and bring in a little more excitement. Not always, though. If you don't find something you like right away, keep trying. Keep searching and looking for something that you can really get into. I hope you're interested in some sort of activity that gets your body moving every day. It's so important to be active as we age. It's what keeps everything working right. Once you get a little bit of that energy, you will want more and more. One new hobby or a little more activity can make you realize how much better it makes you feel about yourself and your life. If you haven't found something that makes your heart sing yet, keep searching. There is something out there for you, I guarantee it. But I beg you to get up off the couch. It's the path of least resistance, but not the path to happiness. Trust me, I know this to be true. We are our happiest when we are trying new things, learning, and growing. It's what fills our cup. And no one wants an empty cup, right? Right. Oh my goodness, it is Wednesday already. Happy hump day. Think about a new hobby or activity that you've been wanting to try. And do it. Just do it. Tomorrow we will talk about doing things our own way. That's right. Put your own spin on it. Now you go out there and be a badass. Of course, I'm cheering you on.
Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist, hosted by Wendy McClure. For more inspiration, please visit Hopefulist.com. Thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow on The Hopefulist.
Just one thing. Try just one new thing. You can do it.